Hello, welcome back. I'm Mr. James, and today we're going to discuss multiplication comparisons for TEAC 3.4D, 3.4E, and most specifically 3.5C. We're going to talk about times as many. So I wrote some questions up here on the board that I want us to solve, and I want us to take a look at this first question here. So I know there's a glare with the light, so I'm going to do my best to kind of move it out of the way here. I guess that'll work. All right, so the question is basically asking us, how can we write 7 times as many as 4 as a multiplication equation? All right. So we remember that a multiplication equation in simple terms is just a multiplication sentence. All right. And they're asking us for 7 times as many as what? 4. All right. So we're going to be dealing with 4 how many different times? 7. All right. So I have my 4 here. I like to use a bar model. So I'm going to draw my bar of 4. And I'm going to extend that how many different times? 7 different times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 4 how many different times? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And what I can do to figure out my answer to how much is 7 times as many as 4 is repeated addition. Or I can do skip counting. I'm going to show you skip counting first. I know that 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. All right. And I know this, I'm literally multiplying 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. And 7 times 4 is 28. So with this being said, what will my multiplication equation be? All right. So here, this is 7 times 4 equals 28. Why is it 7 times 4 and not 4 times 7? Let me tell you why. How many groups do I have? 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 groups. So this is actually 7 groups of what? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you can see 4 is written inside each of our groups. So in this case, we would see that 7 times 4 is actually 28. But let me come over here and ask you another question. So this question is pretty similar. It's actually almost the exact same question, but I flipped the numbers around. So this question says, how can we write 4 times as many as 7 as a multiplication equation? So if I look at this, remember, I'm doing 4 times as many as what? 7 as a multiplication equation. All right. So what I'm going to do here is our main number, our main factor here is 7. So I'm going to draw my bar of 7. And how many times am I going to extend it? When I ask you for how many times, where does it say that? Right here. 4 what? Times. So I'm going to extend this 4 times. So here's my bar of 7. And I'm going to extend that how many different times? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and this makes 4. So now, as we can take a look at, I have 4 groups of what? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, instead of using skip counting, you may like a repeated addition method to help you out here. So repeated addition, I'm going to combine, since it's an even number of 7s, I'm going to simply add both 7s up, both bars at least. 7 plus 7 is 14. 7 plus 7 again is 14. Now let's go ahead and add those 14s up. I know that 4 plus 4 is 8. All right. And I know that 1 plus 1 is 2. So what's my multiplication equation here? Well, here I have 4 groups of what? 7. So in this case, it'll be 4 times 7. Well, aren't they the same answer for both this question and that question there? You are correct. It is both the same. But what I want you to pay attention to is the grouping. We have 7 groups of what here? Of 4. Yes, you did get the same answer. But over here we have 4 groups of what? 7. So I am showing you that no matter how you do it, you are going to get the same question. But when it comes to word problems, they're going to be asking you for a specific type of comparison here. All right. So let's take a look at this question here. All right. So this question says, how can we write 5 times as many as 6 as a multiplication equation? All right. I want to write 5 times as many as 6 as a multiplication equation. All right. So I'm going to draw my bar of what? 6. So I'm going to do my bar of 6. And I'm going to extend this bar how many different times? 5 different times. All right. So I'm going to do 6. There's one bar. 2, 3, 4, 5. How many groups of bars do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 groups of what? 6. Okay? So I'm going to use repeated addition again to help me understand what my multiplication equation answer would be. We have an odd number of 6's here, right? Odd numbers are numbers that end in 1, 3, 5, so on and so on. This is 5, so this is an odd number, which means one of these numbers will be left out when we're doing our repeated addition, but we will circle back to it. So I'm going to connect these two 6's here. I know that 6 plus 6 is 12. 6 plus 6 again is 12. And if I go ahead and bring that 6 down, that's just going to be 6. Now I'm going to add the numbers that I have. I know 12 plus 12 is going to be 2 plus 2 is 4, and 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm going to bring the 6 down again. 24 plus 6 is going to get me to 30. Okay, now we have our product, but what about our equation? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. 5 groups. So that's going to be 5 times what? 5 groups of what? Times 6 equals 30. So this is 5 groups of 6. All right. So when we talk about multiplication comparisons, understanding your groups and how much you have is really going to help you. Now you may be wondering, what do I write first? Do I write the 4 or the 7? Do I write the 4 or the 7? What do I write first? Well, let's see. What are we multiplying here? 4 times as many as what? They're telling you 4 times. So you're literally going to make 7 how many times? 4 times. All right. So I hope this made sense. We're going to dive in more depth tomorrow in understanding multiplication comparisons, and hopefully we'll have 100% engagement and accuracy when going over this lesson. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.